Everyone, please take your seats. Yes. Dearly beloved, we are here to mourn the passing of a friend. He was taken from us entirely too soon. He deserved better. I think his name was Keith, but I'm not 100%
Oh yeah, I don't know
sure.
what his name actually was, because I was just like, Skarsgård.
Because I have only ever known him as Bill.
Bill.
Bill could not get away from the gross mommy, and we lost him tragically.
Rest in pepperonis.
I am your funeral director, Faye.
Oh. And I am also here. And what else is there other than a funeral director at a funeral? I'm the priest. Mint.
I'm the priest, and I say fuck.
I'm here to bless this funeral.
Bless this mess.
Bless this mess. I'm here to bless this mess.
Hi, welcome to Monster Masquerade. We're talking about a brand new movie, kinda new.
It's pretty. When did it come out?
It came out this year, but I have forgotten the specific time frame.
I'm Googling it, don't worry. September 9th.
September.
Oh, so relatively new if you forget some months in between.
Yes. I think we were talking about seeing it in theaters or at the drive-in, and then it just was not there for very long, and it was okay, I guess we'll wait.
I honestly forgot about this movie.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a reason why. They were real subtle with their advertising, intentionally so. Today we're going to talk about Barbarian.
Doesn't have anything to do with actual barbarians.
It does not. I thought the title of this movie was a play on Airbnb, but it has far too many letters. It has all of them, but there's too many of them.
That's what TikTok said. TikTok's never wrong.
I get all of my facts from TikTok.
They know what they're talking about, those youths on their phones.
So yeah, this is essentially Red Flag, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It sure is something. It sure is a movie. I really like this movie.
Really?
But the people... I liked the twist. I liked the journey it took me on.
Okay.
I don't know if I would... I think after I watched it with you and Nizno, I sent you a message that was I never have to watch this again.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So on my first watch, I was I like this movie. On my second watch, I was meh. I don't dislike the movie. I was just why is everyone making these choices that they're making?
Yeah.
There are a lot of choices that I was huh?
even narratively, it touches on some kind of unfortunate tropes, I feel it's a little gross, but it also does some stuff that's pretty cool that I don't think I've seen in other recent horror movies.
Yeah.
The public reaction to this thing has been super duper popular, and I think it has become a lot of people's favorite scary movie. It's not quite there for me.
Really?
But yeah, I think it has a 90 something. I think I wrote it down. It has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is that better than Nope?
I think probably.
I've got beef with the general public now officially. Listen here. No, I mean Barbarian is good. I don't have a problem with it. The pacing was weird for me. That's my biggest complaint.
It's weird. It shifts a couple times throughout it, and I think once it gets into the meat and potatoes of like, here is our monster, we are running away from it, I feel like it slows down and I lose interest a little bit.
The meat and potatoes. What? I've never heard the meat and potatoes. I just heard the meat of it.
You've never heard of
You included a side dish.
It's just, the meat and potatoes. It's the basics. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It'll fill you up, but is it what you want?
I mean, I usually want potatoes. It was a good movie. It's a good.
Yes. So this movie was written and directed by Zach Kreger, who was one of the 3 founding members of the Whitest Kids You Know, which I did not know. It makes sense. And like after the fact, because there's definitely like a sense of humor to this movie that's like,
that makes sense.
It's very funny.
They stream on Twitch, don't they? Because they raided Kura once.
They did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who it was. Yeah.
I know one of their guys like recently passed away.
Yeah, they like raided her, but she didn't know who they were. It was really I remember that happening.
I did not know that. That's funny. So yeah, he wrote the story. It was inspired by a nonfiction book he was reading called The Gift of Fear, which is published in 1997. It's a self-help book. I guess that's nonfiction, technically. And there was a specific chapter that was all about trusting your intuition and how, like, primarily women use that to avoid danger. And so he took that chapter and he was like, well, what would happen if someone just like continuously failed to trust their intuition? What would happen?
Well, knowing that, it makes sense then why the movie is the way it is.
Well, and it's about to so he initially intended it to be a short film, and so he wrote a 35-page script. And he was like, yeah, this is pretty solid. It was like a lot of the intro, right? Because like that first section of the movie with Keith and...
Love Keith.
That section with Keith and Tina feels like a very self-contained thing, right?
Yeah, it does.
And so I don't know how that 35-page script ended, but eventually he reached a point where he was like, I just kind of keep writing and I'm just going to go for it. I don't have a plan, but like, this is going to be a full-length movie now.
It very much feels like that.
For sure.
It's not a bad thing, but it does feel like that.
It's definitely like throwing your spaghetti at a wall and seeing what sticks. An interesting thing that you might appreciate is that Jordan Peele may have had a hand in like the feature-length script's development because he is close friends with Zach Kreger. And so like he got to see different versions of the script as it was being written. And he also went to the first screening. So
that's really cool.
A lot of his feedback probably went into it. There's no like confirmed thing. There's just like, oh yeah, Jordan Peele helped me write my movie. But like, if you have somebody who's as good as Jordan Peele, like, I don't think you're going to be like, I'm good not following your advice, friend.
Yeah, it is really cool. But like, hey, Jordan Peele, want to help me out with this script? Like,
will you read my story as a friend and definitely not as someone who is very talented? I didn't know anything about this movie like going into it, except that most people who watched it were like, yeah, you're not going to expect like half the stuff that happens. Yeah, and that's true.
Which made me, I think people describing like, whoa, you're not going to expect it, got my hopes too high for it. That's what my issue with the movie was personally. I was expecting like crazy cult stuff to be going on. I was so excited. I was like, let's go like weird. It's going to be very weird. It was kind of weird. But it reminded me of, what's that movie where they can't talk? There's a blind guy, ex-military guy. And it's like a home invasion movie. Don't breathe. And then in the basement, he's got that lady he's like milking. Yeah, it has those vibes. Because I think it's just the milk in the basement that is the vibes. But
would it surprise you to know that this is technically a Disney movie? Because it was produced or it was distributed by Fox, and Disney owned Fox. So
okay. A technicality.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't know anything, and that was very intentional. 20th Century Fox, like, when they were promoting this movie, did not leave a ton of information in the trailers itself, because I think they wanted people to go into it like fresh. So most of the ads, like, I feel like were just like a bunch of like random clips, like very quickly, and then just the title.
Yeah. I remember seeing the title a lot, but I don't remember anything about like anything from trailers.
The poster is cool. I honestly thought when I first heard Barbarian, I thought it might be like these kids were playing D&D in a basement, but they accidentally summoned something. I was like, oh, okay, that might be cool. It's not that. It's definitely not that.
It does look like that from the poster. I was reading about the title. Apparently it was a placeholder title, and then he just kept it. So it has nothing to do with the movie.
That's just the theme of this movie, apparently. Yeah. So it has a pretty good cast. There's not a ton of characters that we meet, but it's got Georgina Campbell, who was in Broadchurch and one of those King Arthur movies that came out. She plays Tina. Justin Long is in this movie. Worst. He plays AJ, a disgraced television star, I guess.
I hate that man.
We'll get more into why he sucks later, but goddamn, Justin Long, of course, has had like a pretty big career in horror. He was in Kevin Smith's Tusk movie, which is another one where I don't have to watch that ever again.
Or do you? I'm on my way. No, I'm just kidding.
He was in Jeepers Creepers, which we will never like fully talk about on the show until Victor Salva dies.
Yeah, it's a real bummer. We have to wait for that guy to die.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that before. Mm-hmm. And it also stars Bill Skarsgård, but not for long.
Have you been keeping track of how many Skarsgårds we've run into through our journey in this podcast? I was live reacting in text message to my work friend because he was like, you gotta watch this movie, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. So I was texting and then I was like, is that a Skarsgård? I was like, throw everything out the window. This is all I'm talking about. But then rest in.
Yes, it's Bill. Spoiler alerts, Bill does not live in this movie.
Not for very long at all.
So, yeah, Bill was Pennywise. He was also in Castle Rock, that Stephen King TV show. He's going to be in Nosferatu, which I'm very excited about. That'll be rad.
Beautiful, beautiful man. To you wear weeks.
Bill Skarsgård was brought in by one of the producers, producer Roy Lee, who worked with Skarsgård on It. Roy Lee also has a kind of wild filmography just from a producing standpoint. He's worked on a lot of the Lego movies, like the Lego Ninjago and also It. And also, most notably, I feel like he was a producer on The Boy. Oh. So Roy Lee is my new best friend. Bill's character might have died very early on in this movie, but he was also an executive producer for the movie. So, I feel like he's okay with it. My boy is going to have such a long career in horror, it feels like.
Ew, he did the 2017 Death Note. I have beef with Roy Lee. I don't know about this man.
It's weird when you get to like a production level though, because like it's kind of hard to tell how involved they actually are with a project. So it sounds like he was pretty involved in It and this movie, obviously, but I don't know. When you get to producers and like executive producers, it can be funky.
Got my eye on him because of The Boy. You know my thoughts on The Boy. Promise me a creepy doll and then give me a man.
No, you can't say that. Now it's spoiled for when we cover it.
Oh, cut it out. Cut it out.
No, it's fine.
Nobody knows the twist.
People will forget.
People were thirst trapping him all over TikTok. Everyone knows.
It's so good. Did you know? I didn't. I found this out today. That Justin Long did the voice of Alvin in the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies.
And that makes sense.
I didn't know that.
Matthew Gray Goobler is one of them.
I knew that one. I knew he was in it. And also, isn't Jesse McCartney Theodore?
I think so, yeah.
I did not know Justin Long was Alvin. It just
He's
doesn't.
the other one.
There's like a disconnect there that is happening because Alvin is so cool and Justin Long always plays like the geeky loser guy.
Yeah, well, he's cool, but he's a chipmunk still, you know. So I feel like you have to take that into consideration. Cool, but still a chipmunk.
Mm-hmm.
I never got into Alvin and the Chipmunks.
My younger siblings did.
Oh no, it's like Stuart Little. Like what's going on here?
Did you know that M. Night Shyamalan wrote Stuart Little, like the script?
What?
Yeah, he worked on the script for it.
I
think it would have been after Sixth Sense, but before Signs.
I'm learning so much tonight. My brain was not ready to learn all of this knowledge.
Welcome to Holly Weird. We have all the fun facts that you that you are not expecting.
Anyway,
I also want to mention Richard Brake. He plays the gross old man. We'll talk more about why he is awful too. I don't think I saw many things that he was in previously, but I did read a very fun story while I was doing my research for this episode. So Richard Brake, he's an older gentleman. So he went to a local theater to watch Barbarian, to see the movie that he was in on screen. And a couple rows in front of him, there was a group of teenage girls who were like getting super into the movie, like screaming and like, you know, talking to each other throughout. And so like after the movie ended, they were like on their phones and like one of them like turned their phone towards him and like the light shone on his face from like a downward angle and they recognized him and they were like, oh fuck.
That's
it's him.
So funny. That's so funny. I bet he loved that.
Yeah, he thought it was hilarious, but
that's so good.
That's so good. I would want that to be me. If I played an outright like despicable person in a movie, like I would want someone to recognize me for that.
That's hilarious.
Should we talk about the actual movie itself?
The movie.
So it starts off with our girl Tess, who is rolling into Detroit. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because I was like, Detroit Become Human.
Fuck David Cage. So it takes place in Detroit. She is rolling into town because she has an interview with a filmmaker, and she shows up at her Airbnb and finds that like the door is locked and she can't get in because the key is missing from the lockbox. And it's not a great neighborhood, and she like tries calling the office to see what's up. And nobody is answering, and it's like pouring rain. It'd be such a shitty situation, like, honestly.
I would just leave, though.
Yeah, it seems smart. It's not like a great neighborhood either.
Yeah, she's like calling outside. I'm like, get in your car. She's like, what are you doing?
Where you can lock a door or something.
Yeah.
But eventually the door is answered by Bill Skarsgård. I need to call him Keith, but I can't. Like every time I go to, Keith. It's like my mouth like clamps shut. Like it just
he doesn't look like a Keith. I literally, so at this part I was like, lady, what are you doing? Don't go in. And then I like looked closer and I was like, wait a minute.
Is that my boy?
I was like, that's Bill. I would also go in. Go in. And then I was talking about how it's like oh no, there's only one bed. Like big.
Let's pretend to be married.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so he answers the door and they find out that the house that they are supposed to be staying in has been double booked. So they both have a reservation on it. And it was like a clerical fuck up or whatever. But he offers to let Tess in. And she says yes for some reason, which is like red flag number one.
Yeah, get it, girl, you know.
It's just some random dude.
Yeah, no.
But he's like, I'd feel really bad that you're out here in the rain and I don't think it's safe. So like, please come in. And then we proceed to have like the most uncomfortable, like 15 to, I don't actually know how long that opening section is, but it feels like it's forever just because they're so awkward around each other.
So awkward. They're like, he's trying to be nice and she's like scared she's going to get poisoned or something. So he's like, I didn't open this wine, but if you want to open it, you can have some of the, and I'm like, this is a good guy.
Hey, the laundry's still in wash. But I thought, well, I'm wide awake, so I it's gonna be a bit nut. I thought I'm gonna have some of this here wine, but I didn't want to open it before you got out of the shower because I noticed you didn't drink your tea, and well, I totally get that, by the way. I mean, you don't know me, and this is a really weird situation. It makes total sense, but I thought that you know, you might want some of this, but if I open it while you weren't here, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Jesus Christ. I thought you wouldn't want any if you didn't see me open it, so I waited.
Yes. But then I'm like, this is a horror movie. Is this a good guy? Also, it's Bill Skarsgård, so is it a good guy? Like, I'm just
is
like,
he gonna murder me?
I'm like, he could. That'd be fine.
Like, it's very funny. Like, they play up his sweetness and his awkwardness to a comedic level because it's like, he's like, well, my daddy raised a gentleman. So I don't know why he's from Kentucky now.
My daddy raised a gentleman.
He's like, my dad would kill me if I let a lady sleep on the couch while I was in the bed. So, like, please take the bedroom. And she's like, no, I'm good. Like, besides, I have a thing about clean sheets anyways. And then it just cuts to the washing machine going. It's like, that's funny. That's good.
Yeah, it is good. The whole opening is nice. I was just like, what's going to happen here?
Yeah. Eventually, they like start to warm up to each other.
They're flirting.
They're flirting hardcore.
Flirting.
This is the romance that we deserved in Halloween Ends.
It is. It is. He's like, that's how I put on a duvet, and I was like, you're so cute. Look at him. Oh my gosh, that's how he does it. And then
that's how I also put on a duvet.
You're a Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, but you get to pretend to be a ghost. I'm charming.
You are charming. You are charming. You are charming.
Would I be a duvet ghost in front of a stranger? Probably not. But like,
yeah,
at that point, I think they had also had alcohol, so like it's okay.
Oh, that's true. No, she said no. But then they like stand there awkwardly in the room, and it's so awkward. He's like, well, good night. And she's like, well, good night. And they just stand there, and I was like,
and they don't smooch.
They don't
even
smooch.
Though it feels like they maybe should.
They basically smooched in their minds.
They get to talking, and she mentions the job interview that she has because she wants to work for this filmmaker who did a really cool movie about like was it a blues group or something?
Yeah.
Like, she did a documentary about musicians, I think, like, helping out communities with, like, not as much money. And he was like, yeah, I saw that movie. Like, I'm one of the founding members of the band. He's like, I'm not the lead guy, obviously, but, like...
Yeah, he's like, I'm this guy, and we're just scoping out new locations. Or, like...
Right. I'm just going to stay here for a week so we can find a new studio space. Are you crying?
Yeah, it's so sad. Goodbye.
And so they warm up to each other, and then they start having drinks, and then they don't smooch, but maybe.
Duvet ghost. Important. I don't... Wait, do you... Wait, pause. You have a
What's
duvet?
Up? Yeah.
Oh, I don't. It's so hot here.
It's good for the winter times. Most of the time it stays like folded up. I like the idea of having... This is not important. I like the idea of having a big comfy blanket that I can switch out the aesthetic for.
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah. Maybe I should get a duvet.
But then I only ever use it for winter, and I have to go with my summertime quilts. And now the audience knows facts about me.
Now I know facts. I was just curious.
You've been in my home.
I'm not looking for your duvet. I don't go to your house and say, hold on, Faye. I must assess your duvet situation. I don't think I've ever even been in your room. I just like sit on the couch with your dog, like brr.
This is true. Okay.
Anyway.
So they go to sleep and everything's fine, except that I almost said Tess. Tess is not a character. Tina from Bob's Burgers.
Who's
wakes
Tina?
up and that's her name.
Her name is Tina?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, it is Tess. Wait, why do I have Tina? What? What have I been saying this entire time?
You've been saying
no.
Tess. I don't know where you got Tina from.
Why do I have Tina written down? Why do I don't understand what just happened. Anyways,
wait, so you have Tina like written in your notes?
Yeah, I have Tina written in my notes. I don't know why I've been saying Tess.
wait, which is her name?
Yeah, Tess is her name.
Oh, okay.
Anyways.
Is Tina in all of your notes? Like she's Tina throughout your notes?
No.
Oh, just once.
Oh, it is Tina. I have Tina throughout it. Why? This makes no sense. This is okay. This is all being cut.
Put it in the bonus content. It's got my sister in the background like a frog.
This is a blooper.
Hi, Shirley.
So everything's fine. They go to bed. But then Tess wakes up in the middle of the night because she hears her door open and she thinks that maybe Bill is going to kill her because she hears weird noises, and instead of like shutting the door or leaving, she walks into the house and sees that he is still asleep on the couch, but he's like obviously going through it with night terrors or something. Maybe he's got a case of the sleep paralysis.
He's freaking out.
Yeah, he's not having a good time.
I thought something was going on here. This also part of my. So why did the door close? Does this lady that we're going to talk about later have magic door powers?
I don't know how the basement one works like that.
Was this one the lady? Did she come upstairs and open the door?
I think that's the implication.
And then
is that
scurry
she, like,
back down, so she's shy?
She will like creep throughout the house and then go outside and stuff. Like
she didn't seem shy. I feel like she would have just taken them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm shy.
Because she doesn't like try the front door. I don't think. Like she just checks on him.
Oh yeah, true.
But I feel like the front door could have been unlocked or something.
Yeah.
Or she just like would have gone out through the basement.
The lady's just out there like roaming.
Yeah, because the dude later is like, oh yeah, she's like, she wanders around at night. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, true.
It's definitely not safe at nighttime. So yeah, she wakes him up and he gets very upset because he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
I would be too, because she's just like standing over him.
Mm-hmm. And she was like, did you open my door? And he's like, no, like, obviously I've been sleeping here. Like, not a great sleep, but like,
you can
I
see
guess
him
it's
sleeping.
fine. And then they go back to bed again, and she goes to her interview, I think. And when she gets back, he's not there because he's also doing his thing.
Why would they go back there? Even the lady who interviews her is like, don't go there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We see, like, the interview is going super well, and she's like, oh, I'm staying in this part of town. And the filmmaker, who I don't remember the name of, is like, oh, that's not a good idea. Like, you really shouldn't be in that part of town. And she's like, oh, no, it's fine. Like, I'm staying with a guy who's renting the space. It's like, you've adapted to this very quickly. Like,
yeah, she's just, like, very chill with the situation.
Mm-hmm. She comes back home, and then she gets chased. Well, she doesn't really get chased. One of the guys who's, like, living in the abandoned house, like, sees her going up to the place where they're staying. And I was like, hey, like, don't go in there. That place is not safe.
Yeah.
And she makes... This is the one time, like, where her red flag sense, like, seems correct, but, like, it's the one, like, it just, you know, she's wrong about this one.
Yeah. And, like, And she instantly calls the cops.
Yeah.
And they're like, too bad. Which I think is a good theme in this one. They have like the cops do nothing for that neighborhood, which is very accurate to probably those neighborhoods in Detroit. Like cops would see that kind of stuff and be like, okay, whatever, anyway, and like leave.
Right. And this movie's not great towards like people who are homeless. I feel like it's got like a weird vibe towards them.
Yeah.
So yeah, she goes inside and she is freaking out, and she goes into I think, what is she doing? She's not doing like laundry or something.
No, I don't know what she's doing. But then she goes to the basement.
Yeah, she goes into the basement and the door shuts behind her and it locks, and she like can't get up there, and so she left her phone upstairs too. And she's like, "Oh, I'll just chill." And then she finds a random rope. Like
don't. I would just don't.
A random rope that goes into the wall. It's like behind a shelf, I think. There's like a mirror pointed towards that wall. This would be a good escape room, I feel like, if they did.
Escape the big titty lady.
Because you know how like Universal does their horror nights that are like themed over the movies they own? I feel like somebody could put together like a Barbarian escape room experience.
I bet they will. Well, but it's Fox, so I guess they won't. Rip.
Where could they do that?
Not Disney.
Coming to Disney this summer. Join the magical world of Barbarian. Meet Bill. Meet Mama.
Meet Bill is not even a character.
Bill's just here.
We just got him.
So yeah, she starts pulling the rope, and it opens a passageway into the basement. And at first she's like, nope, not going to do that. But then she doesn't trust her red flag and decides to go in there. And she finds a room that looks like it's like straight from Saw. Like it's all like tile and cement. And there's a dirty mattress that's like covered in blood, or there's like a handprint on the wall. It's like real gross and nasty, in a bucket. And there's like an old camcorder, like a VHS camcorder, just like pointed at the bed. And so she gets scared, rightfully so, and like tries to run, and she starts like banging on the door and it won't open. And then Keith gets home and she like starts yelling from the basement window. I don't know if I have ever been in a basement.
I have, but it didn't look like that. I've been in like a finished basement, so it was like somebody's basement, like where they like have like a media room. It's hard
to get a basement in Texas, even though more people should have them because of tornadoes. But I think it's just because like
the soil.
Yeah,
it's our soil here.
Ground too hard and also prone to flooding.
Yeah, it would like crack and stuff. That's why people have trouble with in the ground pools. No, the basement I was in was in Illinois, so they have them there.
So yeah,
I wasn't just in a basement. I was staying at a friend's house and they had a basement.
I just found a basement and I went in it.
The basement I was in, you know.
So yeah, they get Tess out of the basement, and he like doesn't believe anything that she's saying. Like he just doesn't seem concerned about it. And she's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here because like this place is not cool. And he's like, but I kind of want to check out the room and see what the deal is.
I would also be like, I want to see a weird room with a bed and a bucket. But then again, I'd also be like, maybe not.
No, maybe not. I feel like you could like poke your head around the corner and see like the light in there and be like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't have to go in there.
What do you mean? You pulled a creepy rope out of the wall to get into that room? Maybe not. Maybe we don't go there.
So he goes in there, and then we don't hear from him. And so Tess is like, hello? Like, Keith, where did you go? And past that secret door, there's a secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
There's a secret tunnel that goes even deep. And she hears Keith screaming, and it's like,
just leave him. Just leave him.
We get the backstory later about the tunnel and stuff, but like, god damn, that would have been so much work. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
So at this point, you're Tess. You hear that. What can you do? You don't have a gun. What can you do? There's something in that weird tunnel. You leave. You leave. You get help. You tried. Because if you go down there, you're going to both die in the weird tunnel. Yeah. Nope.
But no, she decides
she goes down into the tunnel.
She goes down to help Keith. At this point, did you think that there was something down there, or that Keith was playing a long con and that he was about to get violent?
I thought both. So I thought there was something down there, but that he was in on it and he was like luring her down there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. I thought that he was bad and tricking her, but that there was like a monster or something down there and he had to get her down there. Because it still played that way. Like, why the frick would he have gone down there anyway? I still don't understand. My brain is still like, maybe he was in on it. Because like, why did he go why did he go there?
I don't know. I think it's just maybe this is where he got like to page 36 and he's like, I guess I'm making a full-length movie now.
And then Keith goes down into the tunnel for an unknown reason.
and so she finds him, and he's like kind of beat up a little bit, and
there's cages.
Yes, there's Shane-sized cages. He's like, we have to go deeper into the tunnel. Like, I tried to come back up and I got attacked. And she's like, but we have to go up. Like, the exit is upstairs. And he's just like, no, like, we have to keep going down or it'll find us. And while they're arguing, a woman, she's a woman.
Question.
She definitely
is. Monster woman.
Yes, she comes out and like fucking wrecks Bill. Like, oh my god, it's so brutal. Like, she grabs him by the skull and is like slamming him against the rocky tunnels, and
that reveal is really good. That scene is good.
It's good, and it's not even like, I don't even think it's a jump scare.
No, it's just shocking. Like, you're just like, I don't know. Those are like weird looking boobs that
just
are
like,
in your
titties.
Face. They're weird looking, like right in your face. I was watching on the big TV. I was like, whoa, okay.
So before we get too much further, I'm gonna have to remember to put this in the episode
from our
description
sponsors
as well. A pretty significant portion of this movie, like in terms of plot, in the two plot lines, there's a lot of essay.
Yes.
And in particular regarding our like quote unquote monster, like incest, which is very gross and unfortunate. So
let me just say, I'm so glad that Bill was not involved in any of that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Good.
I'm glad Keith was okay.
Good job.
He was not the smartest man, but
kind of himbo.
But you know, he lived a good life, probably. I don't know anything about Keith. We already had the funeral. We're moving on.
He's been blessed.
Tess gets attacked by the creature known as I feel bad calling her a creature.
What is her name?
They just call her the Mother, I think, in the credits.
Okay, well, the Mother.
So Tess gets attacked by the Mother, although we don't know that's what she is yet. And then it's like a hard cut to black.
Yeah.
And then we're back. And we're in sunny California.
It's so jarring.
And Justin Long, his character AJ, is like driving a convertible along a cliffside beach, and he's listening to his favorite song and he's singing, and then he gets a call from his agent and he's in a convertible. It's just like oh my god. Like, they would not be able to hear a thing that he is saying. They would just hear the wind of him driving. And so he is like on top of the world. He just filmed a pilot that he's very excited about, and he gets a call from his agent. It sounds like not everybody on the call like knew what it was about.
Yeah, they're all like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
It's like,
good to hear from you.
It's like his agent, and then I think someone from the network, maybe. I don't know. I also don't know how much time has passed, like, between these two sections of the movie.
Yeah.
But he gets a call from his agent and is told that they will no longer be moving forward on the project because his co-star has accused him of assaulting her.
Mm-hmm.
And he is very upset by this.
What did you think in this moment? Did you think like he did it or no?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. Like,
yeah, we were talking about that at work. I was just like, oh,
like
he
that's
did it. Like, you see him and you're like, yeah, okay.
I think Justin Long also like enjoys playing super sleazy characters.
Yeah.
And so like it makes sense. But yeah, he definitely gives off like nice guy vibes, you know?
Yeah, I'm just a nice guy.
And like immediately, like you can tell just from the way that he is like talking about her. Like he starts calling her a bitch and like all this other stuff while his agent and people are like, hey, dude, you might want to calm down. Like,
yeah.
Because like it's gonna be a shitstorm. And he like tries to do some damage control, but like he obviously can't. And so they're like, hey, right now, what you need to focus on is like getting money because she's probably going to take your ass to court, like, and your career is over essentially.
Yep.
And so in order to get more money, he decides to fly to Detroit because the house that they were staying in is his, and he was renting it out through like multiple services. It seemed like he technically flees California.
Yep.
His financial advisor is like, oh yeah, you go take care of your money, and then later, like I suggest you find somebody else to help you out with your money. Anytime somebody like makes AJ miserable throughout the rest of this movie, I am like thriving on it.
It makes me happy. I literally like, there's a scene coming up that we're going to talk about where he's at the bar. He's like talking about the actual incident. And I just like instantly texted my work friend and was like, I hope Booby Lady murders this man quickly. Like I was like, get him out of here. I just, I hated him.
He's the worst. Like everything he says is just like, ugh. Like gross. Like stop it.
Ugh.
And so he goes to Detroit. Well, when he's on the phone with his mom when he gets there, and he's like talking shit about the woman he assaulted, and his mom is just like, oh, I know you wouldn't do that, sweetie. Like, if you want, you can come home and your father and I will support you. And then he immediately gets another call, I think from his lawyer, is like, dude, why did you leave the state? Like, you're supposed to stay here in California. Like, it's gonna look really suspicious that you're gone. And he's like, I'm not running away. I'm getting money so I can pay y'all. And so he shows up at the house and he finds Tess and Keith's stuff. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, is somebody staying in my house?
Yeah, and the basement door is like propped open.
And then I'm assuming he goes to the bar first before he starts like measuring stuff, right?
He does, yeah.
Yes. So he calls up a buddy and they go to a bar and his friend is just like, straight up, dude, like, did you assault her? And he's like, no, I mean, I'm a persistent dude, but
yeah,
like,
he's like, she said no at first, but I convinced her. And I was like, bleh.
No. Yeah, it's real gross. Like, I don't even want to repeat the stuff he says because it's just
gross.
like,
he's like really gross.
Pretty much anything that you can imagine, like, he says it.
He's gross.
Yes. And so, despite being told not to earlier by his team, he decides to call her while he's drunk and like try to apologize and smooth things over. Like, she doesn't answer and it just goes to his voice or to her voicemail. But like, he's like, you know, different people can have different versions of events. And like, I'm not even mad at you. It's just like, fuck, I want this dude to die so bad.
Yeah. Go into the basement.
Ah.
The whole time I'm like, I want this guy to go into the basement.
After that, he like starts going through the house and he walks into the basement and he finds the secret passageway, and instead of like getting scared, he immediately starts Googling like, can you count a basement towards square footage of a house? And like,
that part is so funny.
Like, and the results are like, typically no, but like if you really wanted to, I guess you could. And he just like runs with it fully. He's like, fuck yes. Like,
it's like, That part is actually very funny.
He's like actively working, I guess, on the Zillow listing as he's like exploring that creepy room with the mattress, and he's just like completely unfazed.
Yeah, he's just
seeing,
like, ew.
he's just
like
seeing dollar signs. And then he goes into the tunnel.
He's so excited. He's like, oh, and like starts measuring, and then he goes past the cages, and he's like, what the fuck? Like but he keeps going.
Like he doesn't get like actually freaked out until he runs into Tess, who is just like, dude, you need to chill out right now. Like,
well, yeah, because he gets chased.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up in a hole.
Yeah, he gets attacked by the mother, and then he falls into the hole and he wakes up. And then I think we go to is it flashback time again?
I think we have a flashback here.
Okay, so it cuts back to the 80s. I don't know why the first time that I watched this, I thought it was like the 50s. Because that doesn't make sense. They're like talking about Reagan, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Nisno even pointed, I thought it was the 50s also. Like, I thought it was the 50s. And then Nisno was like, oh, you always know the time period because, like, they're talking about Reagan or something. And I was like, wait.
I guess, like, the aesthetic is off just a little bit, it seems like.
It looks 50s.
Yes. I do really like the film technique they use for this flashback scene. I don't know if you like, noticed it. But the scenes that take place in the 80s are very creepy. Most of it is filmed from like a point of view shot from the creepy dude that we mentioned at the beginning. There are a lot of longer, steadier takes, which kind of calls back to older styles of filmmaking where they weren't like cutting a whole bunch. Like you had longer scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And it really plays on that voyeurism of like, you know, typical slasher stuff. So like your Michael Myers like looking at people.
Just unsettling.
Yeah. We follow this guy. His name's Frank. That's right. Because his neighbor calls him Frank.
But his thing says Carlos.
Yes.
His neighbor just doesn't notice.
So Frank goes to the store and he buys a whole bunch of baby supplies. And like nobody's picking up that this dude is weird. Like,
yeah, they just think he's normal. They're like, oh, having a baby? Okay.
Uh-huh. Because he's talking to the person who's working at the store, and they're like, oh, where are you going for the birth? And he's like, oh, we're doing it at home. And they're like, bless your heart. Like, it's just like, well, you're
a midwife?
Yes. And she's like, the midwife should have given you like a huge list of like supplies and stuff that you'll need, right? And so she's like starts helping him buy all this stuff. And then we get into more of those POV shots where he like starts stalking a woman, and then he changes clothes, goes into her house pretending to be a mechanic. His overalls say Carlos right on his chest. And then while he is like looking at the plumbing in the bathroom, he unlocks the window in there so that he can come back later and kidnap her.
It's so creepy.
And you get the sense that he's like done this a couple of times.
Yeah.
Hence the baby supplies and stuff. It gets real gross. He's just ugh.
Because then they show him getting home, you can like hear somebody already in the basement.
Yes.
Yelling. Scary.
Yeah. So he gets home and he starts talking to his neighbor, who's like, oh, I hate to say it, buddy, but we're moving. Like, this part of town is just changing. And he does not leave because he just continues to kidnap, and
it's gross.
He makes his own family, and that's where a lot of the incest happens. It's nasty. It's real nasty. And so the mother is his daughter. So we cut back to the present where Tess is like explaining everything to AJ, and he is just like not having any of it. Like he doesn't want to participate. That room where the like breastfeeding video is playing on the like CRT TV with that's real creepy.
That's real creepy.
That's real creepy. It's like one of the, it's just like does not belong there.
Mm-mm.
And so the mother, like wanting to have children of her own, has kidnapped people and is like trying to raise them. And if they show signs of like disobedience or like trying to run away, she kills them because they don't want to be her baby.
Bill was not even being that disobedient. I think she was being a little dramatic towards Bill.
I feel like he must have like hit her or like something like.
From what I can tell too, though, I think she doesn't like men as much either. Which like
that makes
valid.
sense. So Tess has been staying alive because she is like following the rules. The mother can't really talk. She just like grunts and she says like some words, but not. She's not very vocal. And so like she brings out the bottle to feed AJ, and he's like throwing a fit the entire time. You pointed out that the bottle had hair on it.
It's disgusting.
It's real gross.
It's so gross. I had to notice the hair. I was like, oh.
So
ew.
here's a fun behind the scenes thing. When they first went to film some of that, hair from the wig that the actor playing the mother, it fell onto the bottle, and they saw that and they were like, that's really nasty. Let's put more hair on there.
No.
The mother is played by an actor named Matthew Patrick Davis. I looked him up. It looks like he's had like mostly TV roles. So this might be like, I don't know. I just always like looking at like, you know, the people who play the monsters in movies.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, he drinks from the bottle, I think, but not willingly, and he eventually gets away.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't drink from it. She takes him.
I thought she like shoves it in his mouth at one, like.
No, later she shoves her whole boob in his mouth.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she takes him because he won't drink it. Tess drinks it, and he's just like.
Do you remember when we were on voice call watching it together, and I found an article and I started laughing, and you were like, what's up? And I was like, oh, I'll tell you later.
Oh yeah.
Apparently Justin Long wanted to incorporate, so we have the bottle scene, but he wanted to include the mother baby birding a dead rat into his mouth.
Why?
And everybody on set was like, nah, dude. Like, that's wicked gross. Like, we're not doing that.
Why would she do that? She thinks she's a mom, not that she's a bird.
Yeah, he just really he wanted to eat the rat. I don't know. He heard about that new Michael Myers diet. And it was like
Michael got to eat rats. I want to eat rats too. Ew.
So he gets away. And finds Frank, who is like this old dude who can't talk anymore. He's bedridden, and he's just like watching tapes, I think, of the people that he kidnapped, right? Yeah. And there's like a full like stack of cassettes with like descriptors of people. So it's like the redhead, or like the person from the store, or like all the, like next door neighbor, like all of these people that he has taken.
Oh, when the test got out, she booked it.
Yes, while the mother was chasing AJ, Tess gets out, and she also tries calling the cops, but they don't believe her because they think that she's on drugs. That whole scene is very infuriating. Like, she's trying to tell them that like, hey, this dude is still trapped down there with a thing, and like, I've been held captive for I don't even know how long, and like, he might die if we don't help him. And they're just like very dismissive and. Yeah, we're not going to do anything. Like, obviously. Back to AJ and Frank. They're buddies now, except not really. AJ thinks that Frank is like someone who is also being held captive when it is probably like the other way around. And he tells Frank like, oh man, don't worry. Like, we're going to get the cops in here and like everything is going to be totally cool. And when he hears that, he is like, well, time for me to peace out. And then he shoots himself because he's a disgusting, evil man who would like be taken to jail definitely for everything that he has done.
Yeah.
So Tess has to go back into the house. Why does she go back?
She doesn't have
she's trying to get into her car. That's right.
Well, and she's like, I'm gonna save what's his face.
I don't know why. She doesn't know that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, but. She just keeps trying to go back to save these men. It never goes well for her. Like, just stop.
She gets in the car, and then we do get our one jump scare kind of from the mother, who Tess like rams into, does not double tap, but like assumes she is dead. And it's like, okay, I can go rescue AJ now, and so she starts going into the basement, And AJ shoots her because he thinks that the mother is coming back and has found him. So it's a real great scene.
Does a little shoot.
Yeah. And then the guy is like, y'all should come with me. Like, I live over by the water tower. She doesn't come up this way. And that's when we get a lot of exposition from the man. And he's like, oh yeah, she comes out at night, like, to find food and all this other stuff. Like, this neighborhood is not safe
I
at
just
night.
pictured her going through like a McDonald's truck.
I mean, she's probably on that rat diet. Like,
Yeah, she definitely is.
I don't know what else she would be eating. Like, she has to feed Frank too. Like, I don't know what.
Yeah, what's he eating? Does she go get burgers?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know how that works.
Naked lady that looks like that just like rolls up to get burgers. You're just like, yeah, sure, here.
And they were like, okay, we gotta go back to the cops or something. He's like, wait until morning. Like, you'll be safe if you're here. And then she shows up and she just like rips his arm off. Like,
it's so funny. That scene is so camp and so funny. It's very, from here on out, it feels very camp. Because
yes.
like they're like, well, how do you know? And he's like, because I've lived here however many years, and that bitch is never. And she just like jumps through the window. And I was like, oh god, it's just so funny. She rips his arm off and beats him with it.
This poor dude. It's like a fucking like Mortal Kombat levels of just like, this is ridiculous. Like, what is happening? So then they start to climb up the water tower as she is like beating this dude with his own arm. And AJ is like, I know how we can stop her, but you're gonna have to trust me. And then he just pushes her off the top of the water tower after he shot her. Because he's had like right before this, right? He had a moment where he was like, I think I'm a terrible person.
He's like, I don't want to be a bad person.
He's like, I want to be better. And then immediately, like, given the opportunity, like, self-serving pushes her off the water tower to, like, try and buy time.
Get your baby.
And she does. I thought she would be more mad at Tess, but I guess she just, like...
She's just worried about Tess. Which, you know what? At this point, when it comes to the mother, I'm like, that's a girl boss, and she just wants to protect this lady from these men.
She probably doesn't know how cars work. Like, it may have been an accident that she got run over. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's just like, that's my baby.
Yeah, and so quick time event mother dives off the water tower and like catches Tess, and they crash into the ground.
Our Pictures Anthology presents Barbarian.
And then AJ climbs down and he's like, I knew you would survive. Like, we did it.
What?
Like, like, dude, fuck off.
He's like, we did it. It's like, go away.
He's like, let's get out of here. You and I, we're friends. And then he's like, it was the only way. And then the mother wakes up after like seemingly dies and then just gouges his eyes out.
I hate that scene. That, you know, I've said this several times on this podcast. The one type of gore I can't deal with is eye.
It's real goopy and gross.
It's like oatmeal eyeballs. I can't.
I do know that like practical effects were like a huge goal for Kreger as they were doing this, because like I think he just said he was tired of CG, and also like, you know, they're working on like a smaller script, so like it makes more like it's kind of grounded in reality, so it makes sense to have like those practical effects.
I always prefer like at least over 50% practical effects.
Yeah,
CG has its place for sure in like making things look better, but whenever it's just all CG, it's like
yeah. It looks like Tess is gonna... I don't know, she's not doing great.
I don't think she lives, except for interpretation. I don't.
So she shoots the mother out of pity, I think, because like she's real fucked up from that fall, and also like it's not a great existence. And then it just like cuts, and that's the end. Like I think it ends with the gunshots.
Mhm.
And then we get like some like very quick like edits of like, oh, she's walking into the sunset. And then that's it. We don't get any more.
I don't know if Tess survived that. If she did, maybe she learned to not, I don't know, listen to your gut. I always listen to my gut.
We were talking about the trailer, the trailers and stuff being very
vague,
like minimalistic. There was another trailer that dropped, and it was like very silly, and it was like, check out Justin Long's new movie. and then it cut to like all the scary stuff. That's good.
That's really good. Funny. That's really funny.
So yeah, this movie ended up making like almost 10 times its original budget. Like audiences are very into that original horror. I think we talked about it during Nope, but like people are coming out to see these new like scary movies.
It makes me really happy.
I liked watching this movie. I liked the experience. I feel like it's not because trailers are so bad about like showing everything. I feel like this is the first movie in a while where, aside from Nope, right, where I like didn't know anything really.
Yeah, with Nope, I just knew aliens ? That's all I knew.
Yeah. And so it was cool. It was a cool experience, like watching it for the first time, and then watching it again with you and Nisno, because I think that was both our second viewing, but it was Nisno's first, and so that's always fun.
Nisno said he wants to rewatch it too because he was doing a dungeon in Final Fantasy, and at one point he literally just like let somebody die because he couldn't stop watching. He's like, I need to rewatch it.
I think I remembered you saying, "Oh, this person's down," and he was like, "Oh."
Yeah, they were just dead on the ground for like a while. It's like, oh no. But yeah, it was funny. He liked it though. It's always makes me happy whenever I can get Nisno to like watch horror. I mean, I get him to watch horror a lot, but whenever he's like invested, because he's not a scary boy. He's not. Not a big horror fan.
Yeah,
it's like the Gengar Clefairy meme, but I'm the Gengar and he's the Clefairy.
That's so good. Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier. I have it in my notes. They originally approached Zac Efron to play the role of AJ, but he said no. So then they went with Justin Long.
Justin Long's better.
He did
for that role.
I don't want to hate Zac Efron like that.
Yeah. I mean, Zac Efron's played a serial killer, though, so...
Did he? Oh, I fucking forgot about that.
Yeah. So he could do it. But I think he didn't... Like, he played him, but he didn't actually do any, like, murders. It's like one of those mockumentary bullshit things. So I don't know if, like... I never watched... I don't ever watch those. So I don't know if he actually did the murders or not. But maybe he did, and that's why he didn't want to do this. He was like, no. He's like, I don't want people to think all these awful things about me.
I went too method. I'm on the run. Yeah, no, every choice in this movie from a narrative perspective is a bad one. It's just like it's one of those where you're like, please, like literally do anything like aside from what you're doing. When it like finally like when it counts, Tess like makes the right decisions, but like the entire process getting to that point is just like so. It's like a train wreck. It's like a train. You can't look away.
You can't look away.
That's what this movie is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's like the message from Nope. Just can't look away. I liked this movie. I still feel at sometimes it was trying to be more than it was. Like it wanted to have like a Hereditary moment or something like that. But I think it was okay that it didn't, and it should have just like embraced that more. Yeah. And then it would have been even like better. Like if it had leaned into the camp a bit more and stopped trying to be as serious, I think I would have liked it. Because I do think they're trying to make a message with like the cops not helping and it being Detroit. Like they talked about it being Detroit a lot. I think they're trying to like work a message into there, and I think not everything has to have like that.
Yeah. It definitely has like that vibe. Like you can tell that he very much was just like kind of going with the flow with the writing, and just like there are some things that probably could have been cut, but like it's an okay movie still.
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't like it as much as Nope.
Yeah.
But like if we're comparing 2022 horror films.
So Zach Kreger is apparently working on his next horror movie. So I'm glad to see that, like,
yeah,
he was like, yeah, I dig this. Like, I want to do more.
Yeah, it's good. I think people should watch it for sure. Like I told people to watch it after I watched it because it's good.
Watch it once and then you never have to watch it again.
That's true. Just I don't want to have to listen to people talk about sexual assault like that much.
Yeah.
Too much. But other than that, it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I think that's all the stuff that I've got for this one.
Yeah. I do have a question before we end the episode. Because it's December, apparently. Okay, I didn't know it was December. It's December. I've been not feeling great this week. So, surprise, it's December. What is your favorite horror movie of the year?
Of the year?
Of the year. I mean, we know mine. I don't have to.
I mean, it's probably Nope. If I had to, let me look up.
I still need to watch Wendell and Wild.
Oh, that one's fun. Ah, fuck. I need to watch X and,
me too.
Pearl.
And Smile. I heard that's trash, though. But I'll watch it.
I actually really liked the new Hellraiser movie. Like, that one was cool. I just got through. This isn't, like, movies, but I just watched through all of Wednesday, and that was fine.
Oh, I need to watch that, too.
Mike Flanagan had The Midnight Club, which is another series. I always like his.
Sorry.
I always like his stuff. To the window, to the wall. I forgot Scream came out this year. That's fucking.
That was this year?
God damn.
What a long year, but like a short year. Okay, I still haven't seen X. I haven't seen Smile. I haven't seen Men. I haven't seen Pearl. I haven't seen Bodies. I haven't seen Orphan First Kill. I haven't seen Fresh. What am I doing? I haven't seen like any horror movies that came out this year.
We've watched a lot, though. We still need to watch the Foo Fighters one, too.
Oh, I did watch They, Them.
Oh, they slashed them. I don't want... It's bad.
No, it's bad. It's not even scary. It's so bad. I was just like, what am I watching? Kevin Bacon. I fell asleep. It's so bad. Don't watch They, Them. There's my anti-suggestion of the day.
Good year for horror, except for They Slash Them and Halloween Ends.
Well, I heard Terrifier 2 is good.
I haven't watched the first one. Those movies are like the shock factor. Like,
that's true.
Oh, aren't we edgy?
Oh.
It has its place. But like, you know.
Yeah.
That's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
Monster Masquerade. Let's try to find a horror Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah.
For our next episode.
That should be easy.
Yeah. If you haven't listened to our Krampus episode, that one's very fun. I think we did that one before our name change, but...
We did.
Is a good watch. If you haven't seen Krampus, get on that.
Get on that. Krampus is so good. I love Krampus.
All right. Is that it for us?
That's it for us. Go watch Barbarian.
Yeah, watch it. And look up Does the Dog Die if you need to. It's good. It's a good resource.
Yeah. True.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. You have been listening to Monster Masquerade. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to let us know somewhere on the internet and consider sharing the show with a friend. If you have a suggestion or topic you'd like to see us discuss, hop on over to our Patreon to unlock exclusive bonus content and do just that. And we'd super appreciate it if you could leave us a review on iTunes. It's the fastest way to help the show grow. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you find podcasts.